Education, Veterans Affairs, and Procurement calls this public hearing to order. It is 9 a.m. on Friday, May 20th, 2016. The purpose of this public hearing is to receive testimony on Bill 313-33, Bill 314-33, and Bill 315-33. Why is she listed as okay, not a problem. All introduced by myself, and these bills pertain to the transfer of properties in Santa Rita, Dededo, and Tamuning, respectively, from the Chamorro Land Trust inventory to the Guam Waterworks Authority for the purposes of reconstructing water reservoirs and or providing land area for the construction of new water reservoirs. Notice of this public hearing was provided to senators, stakeholders, and the local media on May 13th, meeting the 5-day notice, and May 17th, meeting the 48-hour notice, thus meeting the requirements of the open government law. This public hearing is also being broadcast on local television. The committee will continue to receive written testimony until 5 p.m. on Friday, May 27th. Please address testimony to Senator Thomas Siada, Chairperson of the Committee on Infrastructure and Lands. So I think the way we're going to handle this is I'm going to go ahead and ask GWA and CCU Chair, and also the Director of the Executive. You're here in your capacity, Mike, as the Executive Administrator for Chamorro Land Trust Commission. So if all who are going to provide testimony, please just go ahead and the only difference between the three bills is the location of where these properties are. And I think what we'll do is we'll start with, I'm going to go ahead and start with CCU, GWA, Mr. Berdalio, to explain basically what it is that GWA needs to do. And then we'll hear from Mr. Borja to provide us with a Chamorro Land Trust position on it. Let's start first with Bill 313, which is in the village of Santa Rita, and with that one, for purposes of purposes of the record, and for those who may be watching, we'll just go ahead and give a brief orientation of where we are located. So, let's see, which one is it the upper thing? Okay. So basically, the area that we're talking about that GWA needs is located here. This here is the J.P. Torres Elementary School. Down here is the community center and the mayor's office. Straight up over in this direction is the ocean. As you take a look out from the area that GWA needs for the waterworks. This is the village of Agate and the village of Santa Rita, correct? Okay, so that's the orientation. So maybe Mr. Berdalio, if you can just brief us then on what it is that GWA needs to do up there in that particular site.
Thank you, Senator. GWA, in order to, for the record, my name is Miguel C. Berdalio, General Manager of Guam Waterworks Authority. GWA, in order to comply with the 2011 court order, is required to upgrade and add water storage reservoirs for its entire water distribution system. This particular bill relates to the water reservoir in the village of Santa Rita, and The additional land that is required would be for the purpose of allowing us to construct a new water reservoir and demolish the existing water reservoir and make some other improvements, including a stormwater detention basin to address U.S. EPA Clean Water Act requirements.
Can you put up the survey map? Okay. Now, Mr. Bora, when can you go ahead and so the position of the land trust on this matter?
Well, as we have shown in one of the exhibits of Bill 313, by resolution, the Chamorro Land Trust concurred with the transfer of the land. In this particular case, we did have a lessee that's using portions of the area that we're going to have to move. He had already surveyed his section out. He's using it for grazing, and GWA had agreed to assist him with resurveying out other areas that he may need to give him the space he needs for he was allotted for his grazing. So there is no the CLTC did concur with the transfer. Compensation is still going to be required, and that period of 180 days as defined in the bill is adequate enough time for us to sit down and come up with the determination of the method or type of compensation for the property.
Okay. And I guess according to the bill, GWA will pay for the appraisal of the property, will also bear the cost of the surveying, and then of course the two agencies getting together to determine an appropriate compensation within 180 days.
Correct.
Okay. Now, just one thing on this. Mr. Joe, was this the one here? There was GWA was going to develop an access road back here?
I believe yes. It does have an access road.
It's already existing, or GWA is going to have to put it in?
It's already existing in the map. It's lot 470-1-G.
Okay.
Severed out.
Oh, but it's not a developed road.
It is. It's the actual access road, not
Okay.
in terms of pavement, but it's actually a road that
Just-
leads to the old bank.
Just an all-weather access road as required by the regulations.
Okay. All right. So you're not opening up a new road back there.
No.
Okay. All right. I have no questions on that particular area unless there's something you wanted to add to that.
No, my name is Joey Duenas. I'm the chairman for the CCU. I'm here basically just to support GWA's request
Okay.
and to verify that we've authorized them to make this request, and we stand ready to fulfill the financial portions of the request.
Now, are the funds already in place for this tank?
Yes, sir, they are.
Okay. So it's just now getting the land squared away, and then you'll be ready to go.
That's correct.
Okay.
But there's one other thing I want to add. Based on the review from the Department of Land Management, we recommend that the zoning designation for this parcel of property be changed over in the bill to PF, or public facility.
Okay.
Okay, good catch. Thank you. Thanks.
Okay. Great. All right. We'll go ahead and we'll move on to bill number 314. Again, it's this, the difference here is that the property in question is in Dededo, and it would transfer an area of 1,852 square meters from the Chamorro Land Trust. And again, the same conditions. Guam Waterworks will where's the bill on this? Yeah, Guam Waterworks shall pay for the appraisal, pay for the property survey, and will sit down with CLTC to determine an appropriate compensation for the property at within 180 days. Is there any at this point inkling as to whether this is going to be an outright purchase, or is that to be hammered out yet?
I think it has to be hammered out, but I think we have a preference for the CCU and GWA that it'd be an outright purchase, because this is a long-term facility. It's not going to go anywhere, and it just makes better sense if we outright purchase the property.
Yeah, because I know that in the bill we were saying to determine appropriate compensation for the property to include but not limited to land exchange, purchase, or a combination of options to be approved by GWA. So
Right.
if we're looking at an outright purchase, then we probably should revise the bill then to basically make it be an outright purchase. I know that at one time there was also language in here to the effect of providing in-kind, kind of exchanging in-kind services, and I think it'd be a lot cleaner if we just do here's the value of the property, here's the money,
Yeah.
and then that transaction is finished.
That's what we would like. I don't know, have you talked to Chamorro Land Trust?
We've discussed the options with Chamorro Land Trust.
Okay.
Okay. Mike, do you have any?
No comments. I mean, as far as the compensation, no. I mean, there were a number of options that we had talked about,
Right.
but they were just, just brainstorming what kind of concepts we could take. If a land exchange would be the change of ownership of this property, and that was still an option, then that was something that could be viable as well. But if it's not available from their end, then a compensation by purchase would be better. But in-kind services was something that we found that no matter how much it was, the amount that they could serve would be quite minimal.
Okay. All right.
In terms of the land exchange, we did discuss it as an option, and I think maybe the reason for our preference to do a purchase at this time is that we are unsure whether any of the land in our inventory would be, number one, excess, and number two, suitable for the purposes of the CLTC. So we left it open as an option, and we would certainly be willing to discuss and see if we could find resolution to that. But as the chairman expressed, our preference would be for an outright purchase.
So maybe then, to give the latitude that both agencies need, maybe we should leave that language in there to provide the land exchange option, purchase, or combination of options. And that gives everybody the latitude to, okay. Fine.
We're in support of that, sir.
Okay, all right, fine.
And one last thing, sir, on the language of this bill, we would again like to add that the zoning of this property be designated as PF or public facility, and I have it in my written comments.
Okay, and we will do the rezoning for all three bills.
Right.
Okay, fine. Then the last piece is to transfer a portion of property in Tamuning with an area of 5,686 square meters from the Chamorro Land Trust inventory to the Guam Waterworks for the purpose of constructing a new water storage tank. So the area that we're talking about then is Nissan Motor Auto Company here. The existing water tank, I can't miss it. This is Route 1. The water tank here has the big Nissan sign on it. And then we have East-West Rental. Is this here Chamorro Land Trust property?
No, that's private property. It was part of the land exchange many years ago.
Okay. All right. So then the property that GWA is asking for is the property immediately adjacent to the existing water tank.
That's correct.
All right. Can you maybe just elaborate why for this particular water tank? Now, the size of this water tank here is going to be what, twice the size of this tank?
Yes, sir, that's correct. In the future, when it is constructed, it'll be 2 million gallons.
Okay. So can you maybe just explain why is it that in this particular water tank, it only takes this much? We're basically, I guess, constructing, is it going to be one large water tank or two 1 million gallon water tanks? And it just seems that the area that it's being asked for is quite large.
Senator, Part of the reason for that is because in addition to constructing the new larger reservoir, we will also be required to comply with regulations that have come into place perhaps after the existing tank that you see there was constructed, and so we do need some area to take care of stormwater disposal on the site. So that is another additional acreage that would be required based on Guam EPA regulation.
Okay. And these are new regulations that did not exist when this was constructed, the old tank was constructed?
I believe that's correct, sir.
How would you access this? Through here?
There is an existing
You would not
right
be
of way.
you would not be accessing it from here, right?
that is the current access, actually.
Okay.
It isn't I mean, it may not be delineated clearly.
If you show it on the survey map, you'll see that there is
There
an
is
access.
an access on that side.
Right there.
Oh, okay. All right. And is that where the access would be then? You're not going to be dependent on the, let's see. Can you show the aerial map? You're not going to be dependent coming in from here then?
No,
Okay, because we don't know what Land Trust is going to want to do here.
that's correct.
There's not an easement here, is there, Mr. Borja?
Formerly, but not anymore.
Okay. All right, fine. So your access will be then from here.
That's correct, sir.
During construction also?
Yes.
Wow. Does Nissan know that?
They may not know it at this time, but we would coordinate with them prior to.
What happens for purposes of during the construction period? Would access be made available through here? I mean, we're talking about some big equipment that's going to be coming in.
If they ask, I mean, we can provide it. Right now, that area that you see was the remnants of a former road that was an access to go behind Nissan. And then in yesterday's testimony, Mr. Atkins, when asked why he's using that area, was told that he was permitted to use it by DPW after they didn't need that road. So he's the one that's using that space right now. Those are his vehicles, but he doesn't have any authorization for use of that space whatsoever.
Would access by GWA through here, is that basically an agency-to-agency coordination?
Sure, yeah, that would be
Yeah.
temporary, yeah. We
Are you
give
going to
that-
put a toll booth here?
No, no.
Okay.
We also, we did discuss during our initial meetings the possibility of us, since we will be providing a stormwater detention basin on the property, sizing it, if the land allows, sizing it large enough to accommodate potential other development on the adjacent property that belongs to CLTC.
Oh, okay.
Kind of help them out.
Well, I hope that will be taken into consideration when the compensation issue comes up. Oh, or is that the offset for allowing them access through there?
We'll work it out, sir.
We'll work
Okay.
it out.
All right. Actually, that finishes everything. So,
Well, on this bill, sir, I do have some written comments concerning
Yes.
technical corrections to the language of the bill. I think there were some transcription errors in the language and the description of certain areas and the size of the lots, and it'll be in my written comments on those corrections that need to be made,
okay. And then also the zoning.
and the zone it to public facility
Okay.
as well.
And we will leave the maximum latitude as to how the compensation is going to be made. Okay. All right. Do you have any closing comments you want to make?
No, just to thank you and your staff, and also Mr. Borja and his staff for assisting GWA with developing these options and helping us draft these bills.
Okay. Mr. Borja?
No, I mean, as we also expressed yesterday with Waterworks on another matter, we're here to help them out. Water is the essential lifeline for all humans, and so we don't see a reason why we should be standing in the way of that kind of a progress.
And I just want to commend both agencies for, this is an excellent example of what can be accomplished when, good lines of communications are established. and certainly commend CLTC for recognizing that certainly these projects will be for the good of the community. And, so certainly kudos for that. So what we're going to do with this bill is, of course, we'll write up the committee report. We expect the legislature to go into session June 20th. That's what's scheduled for now, and we will have it out then. And so by the end of June, hopefully we'll have this thing, we'll bring closure to it. Okay?
Thank you.
All right, gentlemen, thank you very much. And so with that, then, wait a minute, so we got a few more things. There being no further testimonies or questions, the Committee on Lands and Infrastructure certifies that this public hearing is complete, and this public hearing is now adjourned. It is now 9:25.